Probably the greatest day of my life would have been 5 wins up the Northwest. It was just nothing like that was ever done before, and as you get older you appreciate that better and realise it's going to take some going for someone to do that again.
Philip McCallan, number 9. McCallan looking for his 5th win of the day.
When a guy from the back of the field suddenly starts playing with the guys at the front of the field, there's always trouble because he tries a crazy, stupid passing manoeuvre and everyone's off. Let's go back to the roads, you can't do that. Suddenly you put maybe 100, 200, 300 riders together all on the same piece of road. A lot of those guys have never ridden with each other. So really you should be riding your own road and not the guy in front. You should always leave enough space, don't be too close, so you can stop if something goes wrong. Again, ride in a pattern where you can avoid things if it goes wrong, and just keep your distance and be aware at all times what's happening around you.
We're very lucky, being police motorcyclists, that we have the value of our own driving school. And really what we're trying to do is we're trying to offer the benefits of that training to the other motorcyclists out in Northern Ireland. BikeSafe's a free assessment offered to all motorcyclists. The main areas within the BikeSafe assessment are looking at their road positioning, their hazard awareness, hazard management, cornering, how they deal with other traffic, and their general behaviour and attitude whilst out on their motorcycle on the road.
He was quick to pick up in the cornering, a bit too racy at the apexes and stuff like that, so he put him in the right direction and gave me a few ideas to practice for good safe cornering.
It really is a typical type style, I think, that you need to adapt for the roads. I really wasn't staying on the bike often enough on a circuit, and I didn't think if I took that particular type style of the roads that I'd be around for long. I really made a conscious sort of decision early on that I wasn't going to go on the roads. You know, I'd been sliding up the road many times off my 350 Yamaha when I started, and it really you know, it was safe enough. I ended up with a few broken bones and bruises, but really I couldn't have got away with it on the road, so I decided not to do it.
The consequences of coming off a bike without the right kit on is it's a frightening thought. And if you actually see the damage that can be caused to your skin and bones by sliding along the road without the proper kit on, it's really life-changing to see that.
I always loved motorbike racing, and as soon as I got to 50 I went and watched and thought, I have to do this. This is what I want to do. People don't realise sometimes when I say to them that the bike they can buy out of the shop is faster and probably lighter than some of the super bikes we raced, 10 years ago.
Yeah, we're at station corner now. Oh, now curb cam is absolutely superb.
Junctions just frighten me now. Every time you pull up at or come past the junction, I just expect people. I sort of work on the road that if they look like they might, they probably will pull out, so I always ease off, just be prepared if they do. 10 mile an hour rolling off is a hell of a lot whenever an accident can happen.
We have up in 500 people a year in Northern Ireland here going through the BikeSafe assessment. You're never going to do away with being involved in a crash, because at times it can happen due to circumstances outside your control. But what the training does give you is time to react. If you can observe what's going on the road, if you can observe a hazard at an early opportunity, and if your speed is correct, then you're giving yourself time to react.
Oh! Alistair Seeley just clipped the back of somebody there. Somebody was stalled in the middle of the track and Alistair Seeley's gone down. Alistair Seeley.
The first time it happens, you know, it's quite a shock to the system. And I think the more it happens, actually the easier it becomes. And I'm not advocating falling off, by the way, but I think, you know, it's inevitable that it happens anyway when you race. And I think the first thing you do is really see where you're going to end up, because you know you're going to get so far depending on how fast you're going. Make sure you're not getting run over from behind.
After your first couple of crashes, you sort of you learn what to do and what not to do, really, and you don't always really have a choice of what to do. If a car pulls out in front of you, really you've got to stop. And really I'm lucky in a way, because with racing you can have quite a few crashes and not get hurt, and you can learn from those crashes. But unfortunately on the roads of today and any other day, you don't get a second chance. If a car pulls out and you're doing 100 miles an hour, it's all over. Or if you go into a corner far too fast, it's all over. I really started racing way back in 1983, and to be honest, I didn't think I was going to live much longer if I kept on riding roads, because I have this terrible urge for speed and I love motorbikes. And it was, to be honest, I was just getting too fast. Every day going to work it was faster, faster, faster. And you know, a couple of mornings cars pulled out, and it was only really a matter of time until you know, a car pulled out and I couldn't stop. It would have been my fault. It might have been the car's fault for pulling out, but it would have been my fault really for going too fast. You know, you're at your own mercy out there road racing. You can decide how fast you want to go. You can decide what passing manoeuvre you want to take, and you can decide where you want to stop or what you want to do. You don't have that choice on the roads.
The modern motorcycle is really fast, and part of the buzz of riding a bike is the performance of a machine. Now, the place for that is on a racetrack.
Oh, red flag.
Probably the single biggest thing that if I could change, and I know would save lives, is to ask riders just to take some of their speed off. Reduce your speed. A low speed isn't always the main cause of the crash. The speed of the machine at the time has a massive effect on what happens afterwards.
Oh, Rutter's gone down. Rutter has just dumped it straight on his shoulder.
I can sit here and tell you that, you know, every time I pull my bike out of the garage, I check everything, but it took me a long time to get to that point. In the early days, you just pulled it out and rode away at it, and it wasn't until, you know, you're halfway down the road you realise you had about 10 psi of pressure in the front tyre. Now, you know, working with tyre companies, I've realised just how important, you know, tyre pressures are. Overly inflated, obviously bad. Underly inflated, the same. It's common sense. I mean, you pull the bike out, you look at the chain, you look at the tyres and check your tyre pressures and all the other usual bits and pieces, you know. Check the bulbs as you would, you know. But I think, you know, I don't need to tell everybody that it's just a common sense. If you've got time to do it, better to do it than find out down the road that, you know, something's hanging off the bike.
You have to take into consideration what you can see, what you cannot see, and what you can reasonably expect to develop and be able to react to it.
Make sure you've done your bike safe.
Alert today, alive tomorrow. BikeSafe.
Be sensible, leave the racing to us.
Okay, have you visited BikeSafe as yet? If not, get to it, it's a good idea. I've done it. Come visit BikeSafe at the Northwest 200.
Take heed, slow down.
I think what people don't understand out there is that when they hear a story or a news item on the radio of a motorcyclist or a car driver or a pedestrian being killed in the road, that they need to humanise that. That is a real person, and that is a family somewhere in Northern Ireland totally devastated, at the loss of somebody who potentially went out that morning but hasn't come home.